Hello! Today I'm going to show you how to read an on-call schedule in PagerTree. Every team in PagerTree will have its own on-call schedule. You can find the on-call schedule on the team page. An on-call schedule in combination with escalation rules will determine how and when users are notified in regards to an alert. In this example, I already have two on-call calendar events set up. First, on layer 1, we have Tom the Tech. And on layer 2, we have Mike the Manager. On the right, you'll see the escalation rules. On layer 1, we have a 5-minute timeout, and on layer 2, we have a 10-minute timeout. What this means is that when an alert is assigned to a team, layer 1, Tom the Tech, will be notified and get 5 minutes to respond. Users can respond in two ways. First, they can acknowledge the alert. If a user acknowledges the alert escalation workflow will stop. If a user rejects an alert, it will auto-escalate to the next layer. Note, if there are multiple people on a layer, it will wait until all the users have rejected the alert before auto-escalating. If for any reason a user cannot respond within the timeout period, but the timeout period elapses, PagerTree will auto-escalate the alert. So in this example, when the alert is assigned to the team, Tom the Tech will be notified. Tom will get 5 minutes to respond to the alert. If Tom acknowledges the alert workflow will stop. If Tom rejects the alert, it will automatically be escalated to layer 2. If Tom can't respond to the alert, for whatever reason, and 5 minutes elapse, the alert will be auto-escalated to layer 2 and Mike the Manager will be notified. The cycle will continue for every layer in the on-call schedule. Note that the escalation rules are configurable. You can change the timeout for each of the layers, and you can also add or remove layers. Additionally, you can add a repeat so that you can repeat the escalation rules cycle before dropping them. When adding a repeat to a cycle, remember that the cycle will repeat that amount of times after the initial cycle. So for example, if you repeat one time, the escalation cycle will have actually gone through 2 times. This would be equal to the initial escalation cycle plus 1 repeat cycle for 2 cycles. Another important note, if for some reason you have a gap in your layers, say you only have scheduled layer 1 and layer 3, PagerTree is smart enough to know not to wait for the timeout of layer 2. It will auto-escalate to layer 3. Let me show you how to create on-call schedule events. So the first thing I'm going to do is clear my calendar. To clear my calendar, I can click the Flush Schedule button. PagerTree will then ask me if I am sure that I want to delete all the on-call calendar events for the schedule. I'll click Confirm. Now to create an event, I'll drag and drop my crosshairs over the days I want to create an on-call event from. I'll go ahead and select the team members that I want to be on call for layer 1. I'll then click Save. That was pretty easy. It's likely we'll need a backup, and while I could create an event the same way, I'm going to show you an alternate way on how to create an event. Click the event you just created, then click the Clone button. In the Create form, we'll change the attendees and the layer. Then click Save. If you need to edit or delete an event, it's as easy as clicking on the event, then clicking the Edit or Delete button. You can additionally drag and drop the event if that's easier. Event overrides. Now, let's pretend Tom the Tech is taking a day off and we need someone to fill in for him. With PagerTree, this is easy to do, and we call this an event override. To create an event override, we will click the event in question and then click the Override button. We then select the user, in this case Alice, and the days that Alice should take over. For this example, we'll say all day Friday. And then click Create. PagerTree will handle breaking up the existing event and overriding it with our new event and person. Repeating events. To create a repeating event, it's as simple as dragging and dropping the crosshairs or double-clicking a date. Again, you'll want to select the team members and the layer this is applicable to. But now click the Repeat checkbox. This will open up some more options where we can define how this event repeats. For this example, I'm going to want to repeat this every day, Monday through Friday. We'll leave the frequency as is, but unselect Saturday and Sunday. Then click Create. And just like that, we have a repeating event. Similarly, if we want to edit or delete any of the repeating events, it's as easy as clicking on any of the events, selecting the occurrence, and the action we'd like to perform. Rotating events. It's likely at some point you'll want to create a rotating event. Rotating events are great for cycling the on-call responsibility through a group of users. With PagerTree, it's easy to create rotating events. We'll drag and drop our crosshairs over the days we want to create an on-call event from. Then we'll select all the users that should be in the rotation. Then select the layer for this rotation. I will then click the Repeat checkbox. Because this event is 1 week long, I want it to rotate every 1 week. I will then check the Rotation checkbox and drag and drop the users into the correct order. When I am happy with the rotation, we will click Create. Now we can see the rotation between Tom the tech and Mike the manager every week. For good measure, let's create a layer 2 in the opposite rotation order. Click the event we just created, select Clone, and click All Events in this series. We will then change the layer to layer 2 and change the rotation order, and then click Create. And just like that, we have a rotating schedule with 2 layers swapping between Tom and Mike.